Welcome back, baby dolls. I'm giving you another special episode update, a very unique update because the stock market has opened down, and now we're talking about the futures session for markets, okay? So obviously how it works, friends, is remember, during normal business hours of a country, around those 6 to 8 hours, we have what we call the cash sessions. They call it cash. What do I mean by cash session? It means stocks open and businesses trade. And there's a lot of liquidity, businesses have opinions, and things go up and down, and economic data comes out and safe. So that's a cash session. So remember, in 24 hours of a day, those 6 to 8 hours is what we call cash. Outside of those hours, so the other 15 to 18 hours, we call it the futures session. So during that session, during the cash, those 8 hours, the liquidity is thicker, because everyone's active, right? I mean, think about it in your country, everyone's awake from 8 to 5, right? 8 o'clock in the morning to 5. They're sitting in the office and stuff out here, okay? Now, that's a cash session, right? So when the futures session opens, the book gets much thinner and there's futures markets, right? So the futures markets is basically, obviously, there's derivatives of the index, but the book is much thinner. Okay, and it's way, way, way thinner, but it's actually pretty efficient. It doesn't do too much chaotic and wacky stuff. What I can actually do is I'll show you the difference on the S&P500, for example. We'll look at it right here. So this is the S&P500, right? So you can actually go to TradingView, type in US SP 500, and then you have this. It's CFDs, but it tracks the futures thing out here. So it's pretty much it. Now, if you type in ES, the futures, it only gives you the times when the futures is open. I think it's delayed on TradingView by 20 minutes. Also, if you look at the S&P 500, the actual SPX, it's just cash. So I can actually show it to you right now. If you look at SPX, you see how there's gaps in it? So look at the time here. It's here and then it opens many, many hours later. So this is only the cash session. So that's why I look at the US SP 500, just to give you an idea. So what you actually notice is sometimes there's a tiny bit of a gap here. This is a 1 hour chart. But I just want you to pay attention, right? You see these big volatility moves? Look at this. There's this huge volatility. That's a cash session. And then look, when the cash session is over, look how small the volatility goes. See how small it goes like that? So you can actually separate it out, right? You can see there's a big difference between, whoa, look at these moves, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then you have a pip, 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 Morse code out here, And then actually this is when Europe is opening. So the volatility goes up a bit. And then it goes into the American cash session as well. So if you ever curious about for the whole day, right, there's 24 hours in a day. There's 3 big sessions of the day, right? You have America. Let's just start with America. America's got the 8-hour session. And then after that is Asia. Asia's 8-hour session. And then after Asia is Europe again. So Europe does that, then 8 hours. And then halfway through Europe, then America happens. So that's why you can organize each day into, there's 24 hours in a day. There's 3 of these 8-hour blocks. You have the Europe, the America, Asia, and then Europe, America, Asia, right? So that's pretty much it. So no matter, depending on where you are in the world, that's what you would pretty much fall into. Now, what I'm going to show you here is the gap down of what we think is doom. But if you've been watching my videos over the weekend, friends, I'm thankful we got this. I'm thankful because, do you remember, I covered for you the Black Monday stuff. On Black Monday, so after the big crash, right, America smashed it down. Jim Cramer said, we were proud to sell. We were glorious to sell. So it smashes down. And because, remember, now America's cash session, it finishes on the low. There's no short covering or anything. That's exact, friends. Look at this 1 hour chart. This is the end of America's cash session. It goes all the way down. There's no short covering at all. Everyone is blown to pieces, down 6 to 7%. So what ends up happening is on the next session open, which is now Asia, yeah, it's thinner. Yeah. So what people do is they just splash it out. That's usually what market does. And S&P 500 is really good at doing this. It gaps down through and it just that's it. See us. And it's on thin liquidity. It's super scary. But this is for turbo leverage long people, right? So you don't have to be not super scary for if you're just sitting out long term. But it is scary, right? Because everyone's always concerned about a recession and everything else out here, right? But you can see and say, this gap doesn't look like much because you're in crypto, but this is a huge gap, friends. This gap down and it went down 5%. You got to think about that, friends, okay? See how irrational the market can be? Let me show you, right? It did minus 6.5% on the last day of America, on that Friday, on the Americans out here. Shout out to Toby, RG3, everyone else from America, Dr. Exologist. okay, touring the world of America, being a wonderful Hooters waitress. So you did 6.5% when there was high volume, thick markets, thick activity, okay? You open on Asia, no liquidity. In 15 minutes, you're down 5%. You see what markets can do? Like, you spent the whole session going down 6.5, which is already way out the risk curve in terms of the tail end of our downside. And then in 15 minutes, you almost did the whole move again on a gap down. You see? So that's actually, this is just showing you how, markets like, bang. Okay, it's cool. It's cool to see stuff like this happen. Kind of cool, but also, it's scary. Everyone's out here. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm just showing you my post, right? So S&P 500, they've actually opened, friends. It wasn't 4% down. It hit 5% down again. But if you watch my video over the weekend, remember I said, usually this is what S&P does, man. It gives respect to it, bro. But I kneel before you, Mr. Stonk Market, okay? You're the big daddy. He goes, oh, you're all scared? So what it will do is, it'll really go, oh, how scared are you, right? And it will just crush the bids lower. Just smack it down. Just to see what's there. Yeah? And then, see, remember, friends, I've told you, Asia session are the biggest trucking jeets in the world. Asia session, friends. The Asian session, dog shit for crypto, trash for everything, absolute garbage. Okay, it's the follow-on session. Everyone's a cheat because everyone's just following America, right? America's big daddy. Always America's big daddy. So, I've been saying, like, I had a feeling, man, like, it's going to gap down and do its thing. Right? That's what it does. That's what it does. It's like, hey, let's go scare everybody in Asia and do that. And by the way, if you're curious as well, so during Asia, Japan's Nikkei trades, you got Australia's ASX, they're the big daddies. Then you have China's Hang Seng and stuff open. So that's what you're pretty much looking at, right? But ultimately, they sometimes have an impact. It's nowhere near the big daddies. Yeah, the big daddies when Germany opens up. So shout out to everybody in Germany. Bonjour to you, everyone out there in Germany. So yeah, when Germany wakes up, that's the DAX. It's kind of funny, friends. Like every time I meet a German out in real life, I'm like, go the DAX, go the DAX. And like one in four people know what I'm talking about. 3 out of 4, like, what? You gotta imagine, I do that in real life, friends. Many people are like, go the DAX. And when I meet someone from London, go the FTSE. That's what it's called, the FTSE. Go the FTSE, because I know all the indexes. If I meet someone French, go the CAC 40. It's a CAC 40. Oh man, I love it, man. I've been in markets for too long. That's what you do. They all got nicknames for the indexes out here. You can't imagine. You think I'm nuts. Imagine meeting someone in real life and I'm cheering on the name of their financial index. They got no idea what the hell is going on. But you're probably not surprised at that. So Mr. S&P 500 does a big gap down of doom. Now, that's a short-term stuff out here. It trades on this cash session. And then, like, if you're really curious, what you do is you look at, like, Asia. Oh, Japan, what are you doing in the Nikkei? That's what people can do. Now, the thing is, I have a chart here of the daily. Okay, now, S&P 500 just officially hit bear market territory. Okay, so what they classify in stock markets, friends, bear market is 20% top to down. Then they go, oh, you're in a bear market now. But like before we even look at that, I just want to show you some stuff out here. Like S&P 500 in our actual bear market, it went down 20, bounced. Remember they were hiking rates, 24, came back, down 27, and then it came back, okay? Also, this was the last time, it was very similar to now actually. They kept hiking rates. This was when Trump was in. S&P 500 hit exactly 20% down. Yeah. Jay Powell came out. He goes, all right, we're cutting rates. Everyone chill out. And that was it. He literally, that was the bottom of the crypto right here. Now, this is the thing though. The thing is, we already had a big bull market. So this was like the end of the bear. This is 2018. Crypto had capitulated. Bitcoin was down 3 or 4K here. And then like S&P 500 started going up. And then we had the plus token Ponzi rally. So that's why right now, we don't know, obviously, you never know what's really going to happen. But I just want to show you the S&P 500. Do you remember, friends, I was telling you, man, everyone is the stock market's bitch, okay? Everyone. Look at this, man. It can crack this level down. Bang, 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 bang. Look how fast the money of the shorts are, by the way. So you can see, right, what's actually happened is, look at these accelerations, by the way. My gosh. So what happens is, look at this. See what I told you, friends? Yeah, okay, so first you had a level here. You had a level here. You had a level here. And this is what it actually did during Asia. There was a level here, right? If I actually show it to you now, look what it did. See, in the Asia session, it just like gapped right down on through. That's wild, right? Look at that. Bang. Just gapped through the level. It's kind of, when you watch it, I watch it for so long. Remember, like, you're not like a big fund and like leverage long. Like, you don't really care, like a couple of percentage stuff in here. But you could just, because friends, a lot of people in here, like, they're all doing like a crap load of leverage. A crap load, yeah? They're dealing with like huge amounts of money. Well, I don't mean like 100 of X of leverage. I just mean like the leverage dollar amount is huge. You know, like, oh, it's only a 5X. Yeah, but it's 5X on like 200 million. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a different level. But it's just, isn't it cool just to see S&P 500 go, hey, how bullish are you? What about now? What about now? What about now? What about now? Like, it's just, that's what it does, right? And just comes on like right here. So here we have Mr. Stock Market coming down here. Man, isn't it wild? This dude, I'm just speechless, bro. It literally came back to the freaking tick. It literally came back here to the tick. This is the high of January 2022, that last bull market. Man, that's freaking wild. Look at that back retest, man. It literally, man, I'm telling you, man, like, just, it's so weird. Like, comes back here. Now what? Remember, we have Jim Cramer and everyone else calling for Black Monday, but yeah. I mean, that marks though, friends. Let's check it out. Let's actually play some Pumpy G music. Let's play some Pumpy G music. Get this market up. Make memes great again. We are the meme. We are the meme. Bull market. What bull market? Now, this thing is now down. It's officially, all right, it's officially, look at that, 22% pretty much from that top. It's now like official bear market. Yeah, it's not, before it was just the NASDAQ, but NASDAQ is stocks. It could be more volatile. Now the S&P 500 big daddy's like now in a big bull market. Now you get a bit of the cope narratives. It's people like, but Trump's legacy, he's not going to let this happen. He was going to do this and then do that. And they're going to go and do the phone calls and stuff like that. So fascinating, right? It becomes the same thing as crypto, where you're like, well, okay, if you wait for the certainty later on, maybe S&P 500 is already up like 15% back here, okay? Maybe that, if you're waiting for the certainty of the tariffs to be okay, maybe it's already there. That's why everyone's scared to buy these dips. But like, if you, like, look, I'm just going to tell you this, like, look at the words coming out of my mouth. Even you think I'm stupid, which you already probably thought I was, right? So you got to bet now that it's going to get better. Yeah, you're like, okay, VIX is 45. It happens once every 1 or 2 years for the past 10 years. Covered in Juicy News. I'll show you again shortly. And you're like, okay, tariffs look bad now. They'll probably walk it back. Countries capitulate, or both. You know, countries capitulate is in, look, we're not going to do reciprocals. We're cool. You know, by the way, it's already happening. Like Taiwan, Zimbabwe. Thank you to everyone. Zimbabwe saving the bull market. Going to crank it. Spoonie, well, thank you very much, Zimbabwe. You have President Scam Long Dong from Vietnam as well, enjoying the PI profits, feeding the whole Vietnam country. So you have these leaders like half capitulating, and then like maybe there'll be other deals. You know what I mean? Like, so this stuff comes out, but like it's so uncertain. It's like, oh, how many countries are going to come out? Are they going to make the phone calls? It ends up just being crypto all over again. Like, if you're waiting for stuff to figure stuff out and to get the certainty, you're going to be paying a way higher price. And some people, like everyone loves buying highs, bro. They just do. So this is what we are watching now. Now, obviously, what happens now? Well, it all comes down to the US cash session. You know, that's what everyone's waiting for. So you're wondering, like, you know, why do we all dunk down? It's interesting, friends. They know they're going to sell a big amount of stock market futures. So they crack down Bitcoin, right? And that was Bitcoin just going down here. They just crack it down. It was interesting, right? So the Bitcoin futures, they sold down like 4 or 5%. Sorry, the stock market futures, but Bitcoin went down first. So that's what they do. Like, they hit the thin liquidity things first. But here's the thing, like, Bitcoin didn't move on the Friday. It's like, well, it is what it is. So this move is just probably, you know, it's people going like, well, stock market might open up weak, probably is going to open up weak. Let's go down. And like, and also what happens is these big funds as well, they have like, they're trading, say, Japanese Nikkei. Maybe there's big orders coming in there, because that's actually what they do, friends. So you got to imagine, like, all these big brokers, they'll have orders to go down. Like, people have maybe called them over the weekend. They're like, hey, sell us like, $48 million of this. So like, everyone's just got a feeling like, oh crap, we've got a lot of sell orders coming in the Japan Nikkei thing. It's probably going to open up a couple of percent down. The US S&P 500 will probably just correlate with the Nikkei down. And if that's down 3-4%, guess what? Crypto's the thinnest liquidity. We just got to get rid of that as well. That's how they do all these trading stuff out here. So it sounds complicated, and for the trading. And guess what? Yeah, when you're trading these little, like, esoteric little inefficiencies and stuff out here, it is. Thing is, though, guess what? 98% of it just underperform buying and holding anyway, right? So it just comes back to the same thing. It just looks like what they're doing is more complicated than anything else. Another interesting point, friends, there is a huge CME gap now. The gap is almost at $82,000. So we've gapped down here. Bitcoin following the stock market down. So it just feels like it's one of those just like, extreme correlation moves. What's the stock market going to do? Down 22%. But yeah, we're looking for clarity. Moving on here. Clarity. Where's the clarity, man? Like, we're on 5 red monthly candles, bro. Like, come on, man. We've just been going down forever. Oh, well. Next 24 hours will be telling, what does cash do for America? Is it going to go and keep making lower lows and then crush everyone, or is going to be, news and other people figuring out stuff and interest rates going to change? Like, comments here from the US Fed come out and they go, you know what? Inflation actually is looking pretty good. That's what they do. They come out and they go, hey, that inflation, that's actually looking pretty good, and tariffs might be transitory. When they say stuff like that, people are like, oh, okay, cool, more rate cuts are coming. They're watching it. But market has to price all this stuff in real time. Also, friends, see how when the stock market opens down in that Asia, the futures session, they call it the overnight session, but like every country has an overnight session, right? Look at this. Oil was 62, and oil just gaps down. Now that's down 3 or 4% as well. So it's down at like 59.90. So just showing you like it's all moving in the same direction. Here we have the US dollar as well. Old Dickie boy hanging out here. Yeah, so I mean, like, comes back to the same thing. I'll cover it up as well. So Uncle Bobby has sold, friends. I think he sold 30% of his portfolio. Makes you nervous as well, but like, man, remember, friends, I've told you, like, look, when you follow everyone, it gets tough because there's big dogs you respect, man. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, they know how to navigate stuff, but you just got to be a naive retardio. You're like, I'm not getting out to euphoria, bro. I'm literally just not getting out to euphoria. Like, it sounds so dumb. It sounds so stubborn. It's like, oh, you're not managing the risks and stuff out here, but God's sake, bro. Jim Cramer's calling for the Black Monday crash, and it went viral. Like, friends, if I told you, be honest, right? After Trump won, let's go back, yeah? Let's go back. Let's look at the stock market, right? Let's imagine you're a stock market wizard and you're trading crypto and stuff out here. Friends, if I told you, let's go to old stock market boy. If I told you, so where is November? Up here, man. If I told you up here, let's just remove this, okay? So you just don't even know what it looks like that. If I told you, hey, man, Trump, he's going to actually do his tariffs. Oil's going to go down. Interest rates are going to go down, okay? The US dollar's going to go down, as his tariffs say. And the stock market's going to be on a minus 22% dip with a VIX spike of 45. And Jim Cramer, after the 20% down, around 17, 18%, Jim Cramer's calling for the Black Monday crash. Okay, so pretty much, so you could even draw it here. So I show you, okay, it's down like 17%. S&P 500 near 5, it's near 5,000 right here. And Jim Cramer, friends, just to show you, Black Monday is another 22% down. So he's calling for 4,000. That's wild, man. So you're closer to 6K, 6,000 S&P 500. You're going to get down to 5. Jim Cramer's going to call for 4. Just think about that. Wouldn't you be like, oh, I've got to buy the dip? You would say that. But now that we're here, like, no, this time is different. It's shaky. There's gapping downs on stuff out here. But just if we think about it rationally back then, you'd be buying it. You would be buying it. You're like, oh, it's doing everything he said it was going to do. So, but now that we're here living in the moment, it is what it is. I guess we'll find out how it all plays out, that US cash session. See if there's any more follow through, any more comments out here. So I just wanted to give you that update, friends. That's what everyone's pretty much waiting on the edge of their seat to see what happens. But yeah, like I told you, man, like Asia session gap down 5%. So what happens? Like, subscribe, catch you soon.